So tonight we are going to pretty much wrap up our full playthrough of every single Mario Kart game. Last time we played the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like the main cups. This time we are going to play the Booster Course Pass. As you can see, I really suck here. I didn't get 3 stars on everything, so hopefully maybe tonight we can get 3 stars on everything. That would be really cool. Also, wait, let me start recording this. Okay. So yeah, we'll be playing this, going through every single track, and we can chat. Yeah, like always, the Mario Kart is just the background noise for us chatting. So it's my version of Subway Surfers. Alright, we start off with the Golden Dash Cup. So guys, what's new? I don't know. What do we talk about? Let me consult my list of topics to talk about on stream. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about? I have some stream ideas. I want to start doing challenges. Would that be fun, guys? I want to start doing challenges for the stream. So one of my ideas, which maybe we might even possibly do it tomorrow. One of my ideas for a challenge is I want to do a you laugh, you quit challenge, or you laugh, you lose, basically, where I play Mario Kart online, but we have a try not to laugh video playing in the background, and every time I laugh, I have to quit the race. And then we see how many, if I can even win any races. I think that would be kind of funny. And then I also, wait, maybe I shouldn't give away all my ideas at once, but I think we're gonna do that tomorrow. I think that would be kind of funny. Oh Jesus, where did this, yeah, I don't really care for the Mario Kart Tour tracks. Even some of the retro tracks that they made, just because it's so hard to tell where the turns are. And then they just put like big red arrows everywhere. Have you guys ever been to a foreign country? Speaking of Paris, the Paris Promenade. Anybody traveled outside of your country? I actually haven't. Like, I've never been to a foreign country before. I think the first place I would ever want to go is Japan, because that is the motherland for me. Ooh, that could be a fun little game for us in chat. Guys, guess what kind of Asian I am? Guess what kind of Asian I am? Is that a fun game? What kind of Asian am I? Well, first off, I guess the real question should be, am I Asian? Question mark? Do you guys think I'm Asian? You will literally discuss your heritage and chat since I've been here so long, I'm not going to guess. Oh my god. Pizza Party really said, you just repeat the same things every time, and it's true. You know how they say that, like, you know how they say the truest insults hurt? Like, that hurt. Just joke. It's okay. No, I totally repeat myself. But I feel like I have to, because who knows if there are new people here. Listen, my therapist said it best. I am not good at adapting to change, so I have to just repeat the same conversations every stream. Now I'm saying in the last 3 years since following you, yeah, I imagine. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Nah, I get what you're saying. I'm just joshing. I'm in a silly, goofy mood tonight. Sheesh, call me out. I'm in a silly, goofy mood tonight because I think I am just, I think I am overcompensating for the absolute destruction that is going on in my life. That is the hard thing about being a people pleaser, amongst other things, is that I always feel like I have to be happy, and I like to make people laugh, or at least try to. I like to at least make people happy, which sometimes comes at the cost of my own mental and my own physical health, but I don't know. That is something I was thinking about too recently, well, because it did happen. I wonder if I oops, sorry. I wonder if I'm able to say this publicly. Because yeah, so my friends were performing at a convention this past weekend. They asked me to film their performance for them, and so I did it. And when they tried to pay me, I said no. I said no. No thanks. Which I feel like is a combination of things. A, I feel like it's a very Asian thing to not accept money from people. B, I'm very much a people pleaser, and I like to make people happy even at the low cost of $0. And C, I'm just weird. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think that is something really tough about being a like perpetual people pleaser, is that I will do things to make people happy at the cost of my own physical well-being. Wait, hence why I started making YouTube videos of me just hurting myself and kicking myself in the nuts. Because I like to make people smile or laugh or something. I don't know, it's also the thing where it's like, I don't know about you guys, I hate mixing either friends or family with like money or business. I would never ever like that. I always try to keep my friends and family as far away from like business stuff as possible. It's like how they always say, you know how they always say like what do they say? They say like don't sell your car or don't sell your house to a friend or something, because it comes with a lot of like baggage, and like it's very stressful for both parties, I feel like, and it can be really tough on a relationship. Oh yeah, I always try to keep family and friends as far away from like business as possible. Because I feel like it puts relationships at risk, kind of. Ah! I was looking at the stream. But yeah. Sorry, I forget what oh, foreign country. What foreign country have y'all been to? What foreign countries? Yeah, if I were to ever leave the United States, or like travel outside of the United States, I would want to go visit the motherland of Japan. I don't know about China, but definitely Japan. Is China nice to visit? Does anybody in chat happen to know? I feel like I hear people say like China can be a nice place to visit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, definitely Japan I want to go to. I honestly don't know if I would ever want to go anywhere else besides Japan outside of the US. It also doesn't help that I'm not good at geography, so I don't even know of any other countries besides Japan. Wait, is Japan a country? Watch Japan not even be a country. But I don't know any places outside of the US much. Like, well, obviously because we just played Paris Promenade, but like, I don't really know anything else. Where else is a nice place to visit outside of the US? I'm not saying that only the US is a nice place to visit. Best foreign places to visit. Spain, Thailand, Italy. I think Italy would be interesting to visit. London, Greece. I would want to go to Italy. Wait, wait. I feel like I'm gonna say the most like insensitive thing ever. I'm scared. I'm gonna get cancelled or something. But Wait, so pasta, like spaghetti and stuff originated in Italy? Is that true? Or is that like is that a myth? Like, isn't it a myth that pizza was made in Italy or something? Or like originated from? I actually learned today, I learned today from looking on my Google Chrome homepage. Apparently, the ukulele did not originate in Hawaii. Which is crazy. Who would have thought? Even as someone who lived in Hawaii my whole life, I didn't know that. Also, I did see that the stream kind of crashed a little bit ago. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, anyway, I would want to go to Italy, if anything, just to see like what true like pasta is like, I guess. Because obviously I would imagine pasta in the US is very Americanized. So I would want to see what like it's supposed to be like. I guess the same thing with like sushi too. I would want to see what like Japan sushi is like. But you guys want to hear a joke? I don't know. I don't know how to like segue into that. Do you guys want to hear a joke? Which once again, I feel like I'm probably repeating a joke here, but what did Mario say when he broke up with Peach? It's not you, it's a me, Mario. It's so good. I don't know why, I think that's so funny. It's funny to me to imagine Mario actually saying that in his like classic voice. It's not you, it's a me, Mario. Oh boy. Like what would you do in that situation if someone said that? Oh god. Oh man. Okay, I'm now consulting my Word document that just has conversation topics to talk about. It's literally just called stuff to talk about on stream. Cause I never know. I wrote down, ooh, here's something that I guess we can talk about. I'd be interested to hear what chat has to say about this as live stream viewers. And I'm very late to this. I'm very late to this conversation. But a while ago, I believe it was Hassan Abi said that I don't know if he said being a streamer or if being a content creator is more difficult than a regular job. And I thought that would be something interesting to talk about. Also, we're moving on to the fruit cup, which I only got 2 stars on, so maybe we'll get 3 stars. Also, hello Flipdo, welcome in. I am indeed a live stream viewer. So from what I've seen, the general consensus is that a regular job is way more difficult than being a content creator. And it's like mostly people, you know, from what I've seen in like Twitter replies or like TikTok comments, the general consensus is like, well, real people in real jobs have to like physically work and stuff, and like it's, you know, more physically tolling than a content creator. And it's like, in my opinion, I think that regular jobs in general are more difficult than being a content creator. But the people say, like, I mean, the people who like are like very like think that it's crazy to imagine content creation being harder than a real job, I think is where it's like, you know, I think in some ways being a content creator can be more difficult than a regular job. In some jobs, at least. And I think people who like I think people who cannot fathom content creation being a more difficult job than regular job, I think hasn't tried content creation. Like people who think it's completely outlandish that content creation is harder than a real job, yeah, I don't think have tried content creation themselves to really see like what goes into it. And not just like, you know, make little vlogs or whatever when you're in high school, but actually like try to sort of quote unquote make it as a content creator. I think takes a lot more like due diligence and a lot more, especially I think the thing that makes it difficult for people to fathom is just the amount of mental exhaustion it takes. And like yeah, once again, I see both sides of it. Like definitely, like I would imagine working 7 days a week as like a freaking construction worker or something way more physically taxing than creating content. But like in terms of like the mental work, I guess, that goes into like creating content and then trying to make that content actually successful and viable to make a living off of, takes a lot more than like I think people see from as a viewer or like from the outside. But yeah, since 2020 I've been juggling 3 jobs, college, 9 to 5, and my own life and projects. There is 1 in 1,000 people who is a content creator who is grinding extra hard, who will say that it's harder than being a regular worker. That will give you the exception. Other than that, working at 10, 8, or 12 shift every day, 5 days a week is going to be harder. Started doing content in late 2021, but didn't took it seriously since October. And now that I'm doing big stuff basically by myself, I have never been more exhausted in every capacity than what I used to have doing my regular old stuff. Didn't take it seriously until October. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think it's another one of it's another one of these instances where it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. But yeah, once you like actually take it seriously and like, you know, I think yeah, it's hard to like actually know what goes into it just by watching it from the outside. Like you actually kind of have to like try it yourself and see what it takes to put that much effort into something like that. But yeah, yeah, I think there's a lot of like, it's a lot of like mental exhaustion, which in some cases I feel like can lead to physical exhaustion. Yeah. I also feel like another thing too, kind of interesting little like something related to that is like when it feels like some content creators are like handed success to them. And I think there's like the classic like people think that I didn't mean to throw the banana. People think that beautiful women equals successful content creator, which I think, I don't know if this is gonna be a hot take that might get me cancelled. I think there is some truth to that, like, and maybe not even like women, but like beautiful people, I feel like may have an easier time being a content creator, or like quickly growing to be a successful content creator, which I think sometimes can feel kind of like a bummer as an ugly person myself. As an ugly person myself, that can feel like a bummer, but there is this saying in like, I think it's like a business. Like there's this like business model, which is like to use your unfair advantages to your advantage. So like if people are beautiful and like flaunt the fact that they're beautiful and find success, then like good, like that's their unfair advantage, and I think like totally good for them. But yeah, I think, you know, basically what I'm trying to say is that I feel like success in that way, it might seem like easier. Yeah, I think there can be different levels of like how much grinding goes into the very early stages of being a content creator. Where it's like, yeah, as an ugly person myself, not that, well, I don't want to blame the fact that, you know, I'm not Pokimane by now in terms of numbers, just because I'm ugly, like, oh, just because I'm ugly, I'm not successful. But I think it does, not being beautiful and not being able to sort of flaunt that in your content adds another extra layer of having to work harder, I think. I hope that doesn't get me cancelled. Oh god. Also, let me catch up on chat. This last week, for example, I put out 4 big videos in the span of essentially 2 to 3 days. Dang. It's not that I'm trying to do it daily or anything, it's just something that happened. Got super sick after a lot of time editing. Once I was fully done with content, I immediately recovered. Wow. Yeah, I think there's like burnout is a real thing, and it's always tough to navigate that. Yeah. Also, Pizza Party says I'm ugly. No. I think everybody's beautiful, except for me. Everybody's beautiful. With that being said, holy crap, there are like some beautiful people. Like, okay guys, let's play a game. Who is the most beautiful people in content creation? I think Ludwig is very beautiful. I think, I mean, speaking of Hassan Abi is pretty beautiful, I will say. Also, I'm trying to only list males because I think there's nothing wrong with finding males beautiful. I feel like people who are not able to admit, or not, I think people who don't talk, well, wait, sorry. This seems like a blanket statement. But I feel like some people who aren't willing to admit when there are beautiful men out there just aren't comfortable with themselves. I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality that I can say that. I think Ludwig is a very beautiful man. Alright, I interrupt. Blue shell. No, on the last lap too. Okay, go, 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 go. Sorry, 1 second. Let me make sure I get first place here. Yikes. Go. Yeah. Okay. Interrupt my paragraphing to say a couple things about that. One, you're not... Aw, thanks. What, you mean I was quoting SpongeBob? Oh, I'm ugly and I'm proud. Oh wait, oh no. No. I'm ugly. Wait, is that the right quote? I only remember, I'm ugly and I'm proud. 2, that's not gonna get you cancelled, and I feel you need to fear cancel culture a lot less, especially when you're starting. True. I am scared just that. Well, okay, wait. Let me finish before I butt in with my own crap. Girls have it easier starting out because of looks, but in long term they end up having a super hard time because people not only treat them for their looks no matter what, but also because women in the landscape just get a lot harsher criticism no matter what. True. Very valid, very true statements. She's not, she's just making sure he wins first. Listen, we have to make sure we get this first place. I need that cup. I'm like Lightning McQueen, I need the cup. That being said, it is a lot of talent because girl streamers are pretty oversaturated market, so even if they do get the 20 average viewer and whatever, it doesn't guarantee success. Yeah, that was, I don't think, maybe I probably forgot to mention it. But I think, yeah, definitely, I guess no matter who you are, I've probably, like, content creation, the stress of it exponentially grows when you become more successful. And yeah, totally, like women have it so hard in this, especially in like gaming, and to be a woman in gaming is rough. Yeah. Which I think is really lame. Here's a hot take, guys. I mean, speaking of which, like, yeah, like, I know I said that might get me cancelled, but I do have some, like, I have some things that I do kind of hold out on because I know that it will get me cancelled. But yeah, since you mentioned that, like, something very spicy that I do think might get me cancelled, so I apologize beforehand if this comes off as offensive to anybody. I'm very sorry. But, you know, yeah, like you said, I can't fear cancel culture, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think women are great. I think women deserve way more respect. Sorry, I was trying to hold out. I was trying to hold out on the punchline as long as possible. Yeah, but yeah, guys, sorry. I'm sorry if that gets me cancelled. Listen, I can't be scared of cancel culture, but I think women are great. I think women deserve so much respect. And I'm sorry if that gets me cancelled. I mean, maybe that would get me cancelled in certain audiences, but oh god. Yeah, I'm in a silly, goofy mood tonight. I don't know why. I thought you said disrespect. Oh no, that would get me cancelled. Cancel him. No, yeah, the thing I was gonna say without, like, not being scared of cancel culture right now as a very small creator, I'm scared that one day if I do somehow end up becoming a big creator, that like everything that I say in the past is gonna come back to haunt me. So I'm like, oh god, did I say anything too cringe? Oh god, now this might, like, no, seriously, no joke, I'm not even joking this time. There is something from my past that could get me cancelled. That I'm kind of scared if I should even talk about on stream. I'm a little bit scared if I should even talk about it on stream. I feel like it might be okay for me to talk about this on stream, but I'm kind of scared. So, oh god, I'm kind of scared. Wait, I'm kind of scared. Himpai, hello! Omega lol, I came in right when the drama is spewing. Yeah, we're talking about some very controversial topics in here. Listen, like, yeah, like, I'm scared of being cancelled for thinking that women deserve so much respect. I think women are great. I think women get a bad rap and they don't deserve that. And I know that's a very hot take, so I apologize. I apologize you had to come in to see that. But hello, welcome in. Wow, you're gonna get destroyed for that take. I know. Oh, it's a spicy sentence sandwich. Okay, but no, seriously, like, seriously, not even joking. Something very cringe, like, it's so cringe, and I feel so cringe that I did this in my past, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of scared to talk about it publicly, but so back in 2017, I'm pretty sure it was 2017, I was really, and I still am, like, I'm really big into metal music, I'm really big into, like, rock music, and if you guys know anything about, like, metal music or like rock music. I'm especially big into Metallica. Also, we're doing the Lucky Cat Cup, just so everybody knows. I'm really big into Metallica, and their album, it's called the Black Album, or their self-titled album. It features a snake, which, like, you know, so there's like the snake thing, and also, in case you guys don't know, like, yeah, so the Metallica album, the Black Album by Metallica, features the songs like Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters. Like, it was like one of their big albums. So, and the cover of it features like the snake. And so, since I was really big into Metallica, I ordered a shirt on Etsy that had the snake on it with with "Don't Tread on Me" written on the shirt. And because there's also a song on that album by Metallica called "Don't Tread on Me." So I had the shirt with "Don't Tread on Me" with the snake on it. And I was like, wow, cool Metallica shirt. Like, I love Metallica, you know, I love rock music. I want to show off my rock prowess. And so I ordered this shirt off Etsy, and I'm like wearing it everywhere. I even like recorded videos wearing this shirt. And so, like, me being the ignorant to politics and everything, I didn't know. I literally thought it was just a Metallica reference. I was like, cool, Metallica shirt. And then so, like, there are a few videos on my YouTube channel I found out where I'm wearing this shirt. And I had to take down the videos. Because I didn't realize until later that it's very Monka. It's a political, yeah, it's like a it's a very like Murica type of, it's a very Murica statement. Don't tread on me. I shouldn't say, wait, oh god, now if I ever become a big creator, someone's gonna clip that out of context. Dude, the thing is, in reality, no one is gonna cancel you for something you yourself are coming out about. Everyone is ashamed of stuff they've done in the past, no matter how bad. If you're coming out about it, it actually shows remorse, especially when you don't have a big audience that you're obligated to apologize to. I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm scared. Oh god. I really just said that, and I'm scared someone's gonna clip it out of context in the future. Guys, I believe in love and peace. Omega lol. Oh no, I just realized what you meant. I know. You should do your own research on your own time about it, but yes, it's very political. Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah. And I was in oh shoot, what was it? Anthropology. I was in an anthropology college class at the time, and I showed up to class wearing that shirt. My teacher probably thought I was the cringiest freaking kid ever. But yeah, I was just like, I thought it was a cool Metallica shirt. But yeah. At least now we know. That's bad, but like, I mean, if your intention is just for Metallica, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Get rid of that fear, my guy. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. Yeah, for like, I think... Ideally, I think I probably shouldn't be afraid of that. But god, man, I'm scared. I was, like, that happens a lot, surprisingly. Like, did you guys hear, or did you guys see that clip? Like, I mean, this happens all the time, where it's like, old clips of streamers get resurfaced and then it causes a whole drama. Like that one clip where Pokimane says the N-word, that resurfaced a while ago. So that would be like my only fear, is that like I feel like the internet never forgets. I'm like, oh god. Luckily, like honestly, besides, like I would say that was probably one of the cringiest things I did on the internet. I honestly don't think I do too many, like, in terms of like things that can resurface. 2 blue shells in one freaking game. In terms of things that like, I feel like, oh god, wait, sorry, now oh god, I keep overthinking it. I feel like now, just by saying this, it's gonna challenge people in the future to find something to cancel me for. No, I honestly don't think I do. I've done much cringy stuff on the internet, and I think a lot of it, not to hype myself up, but I feel like a lot of it has to do with my personality, and that I feel like I'm a pretty like level-headed person in terms of like, you know, I don't feel like I've done many like wild things to try to cause drama or controversy. At least not that I can think of. Like the worst thing I've done to like, for like I guess a reaction or like something that's like out of my comfort zone is like cuss. like oh, I said the F word, that's crazy. And not the bad F word, but the actual F word. But luckily, I feel like I haven't done anything too wild. But yeah. That's one cringy thing from my past. Do you guys have any cringy things from your past that you want to forever have, you want to forever have evidence of here in this Twitch chat? Yeah, I'm just joking. I can share my cringy past. I'm okay with it. And you guys can all just omega lol at me. It's fine, I say as I cry. The cringiest thing I ever did in one of my YouTube videos was lick a toilet seat. What? No, no, I don't know. I shouldn't judge. I'm not judging. It was in a truth or dare video. Classic. Oh god. That's a classic, like, YouTube vlog type of video, I feel like. I don't know, what else? Yup, back in the day. Yeah, that feels very... That reminds me of like classic YouTube. Like a classic truth or dare video. Ah, sorry. Oh no. Get over here, Yoshi. Thank God I removed all my videos. I'm sure at some point I'll do something bad that people will bash me for. I think, if anything, it's about rational discussion. True. But as we all know about the internet... Also, Flipdo, I didn't know you make... I mean, I haven't seen your content before, I feel like. I'm sorry if I have. But I do wanna... Here, wait, I wanna, like... Okay. I have your channel and my channel history to look back on. If there's anything cringy of mine, it's my videos from 2015, yeah. Definitely like old videos are probably some of the cringiest things. Yeah, that's the hard thing about the internet. Like, as we all know, the internet doesn't like rational discussion is the hard thing. But yeah, what else cringy things? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like the farthest I've ever gone is like, oh, I'm gonna say the F word to be edgy. And that's about it. I mean, I will say some... Wait, yeah, I mean, something cringy, but not, like, cancelable by any means, I did in one of my videos. When I started, I binge-watched, and I think this video is still on my channel if you guys find it. something cringy I did do in one of my videos when why did it, what the heck, auto mod? When I first started watching all of the Marvel movies because I never watched any of the Marvel movies before, so I like binge watched it. I tried to recreate a Marvel scene in my video because I thought it was funny. And then now looking back at it, I was like, oh wait, that's cringe. I shouldn't be an actor. Oh wait, it's wait. Oh god, do I even call it out? I don't want to call attention to it, but if you guys look on my YouTube channel, why am I'm in second place? What the hell? Why did I get hit with the blue shell? I'm in second place. But yeah, if you look on my YouTube channel, I'm encouraging you guys, exactly. There's a video called like, I've never watched a Marvel movie or something, but at the end of that video, I tried to recreate a Marvel movie cutscene. I think it was from like Iron Man or something. It's so dumb. It's so cringy. You shouldn't watch it. Actually, I'm begging you, please don't watch it. Now, I feel like, yeah, like, as far as like cringy stuff, like, I feel like I'm not good at like acting in general, or like, you know, even like reading scripts, I sometimes have a hard time with sounding natural. So like, especially like going back to some of my videos that I tried to script in like 2020 or something, like I feel like that's probably like some things that I probably would cringe at. I almost fell. Go, go, go! Okay. You probably haven't seen any of my vids. I've been streaming for 2 years. Oh, nice. Making video for 2 months. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. I love that. I did just, I just posted a tweet today, or yesterday, or was it today? And I think anybody who has tried content creation, I have so much like respect for, and like, I think people underestimate the amount of like strength and like courage, I guess, to actually make content and share it with the whole world. Like it takes a lot of like, it's a lot of like pressure, I guess, and like, yeah, I think it's just really tough to sometimes like put yourself out there. So I have so much like, I give so much props to anybody who has tried content creation before. The cringiest thing I think I ever did was screamed boobs during primary school, just randomly. Oh my god. I feel like we've all done that, right? We've all done that. That's not anything to... I mean, we can cringe at it, but like, I feel like we've all done that. You got hit by the blue shell because you're on a separate path. Oh, the shell wouldn't be able to catch up to first place. Oh, I see. I see. But that's another cup. Another cup down. I don't know which one we're on next. Also, we got 3 stars on that one, so that's good. I wanted to act and make movies or something. Also, we're on the Boomerang Cup, in case anybody is keeping track. Wanted to act and make movies or something, but my family preferred I get a career as a backup, but I really wanted to do entertainment in any capacity. Same. I feel like that's... Well, actually, no, I guess... Like... I guess some actors had their parents, like, encouragement, but I feel like that's something that, like, most people have to deal with. I definitely had to deal with that. My like, whole family wanted all of us to be in business, and then I'm like, I want to be a YouTuber. Share with whoever can watch whatever, so I started streaming and making movies. Nice, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Sorry. I feel like I've never seen this track before. Sorry. I've gotten really awesome opportunities because of me just taking steps. Nice. Heck yeah. That's sick. Well, I'm excited to check out your videos. I have it in my browser history, so I'll be sure to check it out. Does anybody else in chat make content on the internet? Anybody else in chat? Anybody else in chat do content that you want to share or anything? I love to check out fellow content creators. I don't Yeah, I love being able to see fellow content creators and whatnot. Always really cool. Also thank God you said no, because if anybody said that yes, they do content, I was going to tell the mods to ban them for self-promo. Sorry, just gotta keep it real. Sorry, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Oh god, this is freaking, like, roundabout. Oh, I got a red shell and a blue shell with that one horn. Yeah. Okay, massive amount of it was essentially just luck, but I did get to work with some big companies and big creators. Nice. Heck yeah. Lately I've been trying to get back into it all again, got some videos in progress and having heaps of fun with them. Awesome! Love that. Dude, I love that. I love to hear that. Even got a documentary video made of me recently. It feels nice for having just started. Heck yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Nice. Let's go, guys. Love that. Well, best of luck to all of us. I love that. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I think it's totally... It takes a lot of, like, mental strength to create content and, like, to stick with it. I do remember, too, like, in high school, there was this girl who had a YouTube channel, and, like, I think it was, like, her first or second video she posted. Oh, God. Yeah, the first or second video this girl posted in high school was, like, a story time video. And so she just sat there and told a story about how... I forget what the story was. It was, like, bees. Something about bees. Like, a bunch of bees came in her house or something. And then the video ended up getting, like, 12,000 views. And at the time, in high school, I was still committed to, like, making skits and stuff, and, like... yeah, just making stupid skits. And so obviously, as a high schooler making stupid skits, my videos only got like 50 views. And so when this girl posts a story time video that gets 12,000 views, I'm not gonna lie, I was so jealous. I was so jealous. I will be straight up about that. I was so butthurt when I saw this girl from high school get 12,000 views. Of course I didn't say that to her face, but, and looking back, obviously, like, I love that for her. But, yeah, sorry, I don't know where I was going. Why was I telling that story? Oh, I was just trying to say that, yeah, I think, so, like, especially, like, comparing yourself to other people and, like, feeling discouraged about your content definitely has a lot of... It requires a lot of mental strength, and it can be really tough. Really tough out there. Did watch one of your vids recently. I don't remember which, but I checked you out about a week ago. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. The most amount of views I got is 300,000 on a dumb, annoying orange meme. Nice. Nice. We do like a nice meme video. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, that is something that I'm not gonna lie, even to this day, sometimes comparison really gets to me. Comparing myself to other people. It's hard. Like, and it can really, really mess up my motivation. I went through a very tough, like 4 or 5 months recently. I might even still be going through it, but where my motivation has kind of been in the dump, kind of been in the trash. Just because sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel like I put a lot of effort into stuff. And I feel, oh wait, also sorry, my stream is dying. My stream is buffering. Hold. Are we okay now, stream? Are you good? Yeah, I've recently been like struggling with like feeling a bit, yeah, discouraged, just because I feel like the amount of time that I put into my videos, and then I compare myself to other people who are like at certain points in their content creator journey and they're like so successful. I'm not gonna lie, it does sometimes get to me, which is obviously not a healthy thing to do. And it's something that I definitely have to work on. So it is tough. Especially when it is, like, a lot of times, it's so funny because a lot of times, like, either like YouTube gurus or even YouTube themselves will tell you to compare yourself to other channels, and it's like, wait, that's the thing I'm trying to avoid. Oh god. But then you kind of have to do it for your own channel. Ow. What is the saying? I think there's a saying like, comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know, or something like that. Comparison is a thief of something. Comparison is a something. Go, we did it. I've felt that sort of jealousy even to my own content, because I get like what I spent literally 2 seconds on this video and it gets 10,000, but I spent a week editing this and it's not nearly as much. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally feel that. Comparing is so easy to do in this field like crazily. It took me years to get over it, and focusing on the numbers too hard. Now I focus on the long term rather than the short term with that jazz. Nice. Well, that's good. That's a healthy way to do it. Recently I showed my grandpa one of my vids. Aw, that's already really wholesome. Not sure why he brought this up specifically, but he told me a quote his dad told him that he had definitely told me before that never really hit me until then. He said, never envy others for what they have. Instead, admire them, not for the things they have, but for what they do with the things they have. Aw, I love that. That's so nice. Also, I mean, props to you for showing your videos to your family. I could never. Is that something that you guys, I don't know, does anybody else do that? I get so self-conscious about family or friends seeing my videos, which may just be a me thing. I will say I definitely have to sort of I definitely put on a mask when I'm making content versus regular life. If you guys were to see, like, I mean, just judging by how I'm talking now, like, I'm yapping. I yap up a storm on stream, but then if you were to see me in real life, I don't talk. It's ridiculous. It's genuinely, like, it's like night and day. Like, I yap up a storm on stream and in videos, and then I just don't talk in real life. Barely do it. I only let my friends watch my videos. Like, yeah. It is something where it's like, I feel like it's definitely a good practice to do. Like, it's definitely a good practice to share your work with your friends and family. Especially because they can be the ones who can give you the best critiques and or feedback. But I don't know, like, for one thing, I get so embarrassed listening to myself around other people. I can watch my own videos back when I'm just by myself, but hearing my voice when I'm with other people and seeing my dumb face, I don't know, I get really, like, really embarrassed. Quite literally put on a mask to make videos. Look at my channel. Yeah, I did notice that from your thumbnails. And I love that. It's like VTubing without the V. Wait, VTubing, it stands for virtual tubing, right? The V stands for virtual. Oh, I thought the banana was gonna hit me. Yeah. But I'm like on the edge of possibly just putting all of my work out there for all friends and family to see. Well, I mean, it is because it's on the internet where everybody can view it. But in terms of, like, I do want to start, like, because I have a public Instagram and a private Instagram, and my private Instagram is like for my like IRL friend, so to speak. But I am, like, on the edge of, like, just, like, putting it all out there for everyone, for, like, even my IRL friends on my private Instagram for a while, and for pretty much not my entire life, but pretty much once I started doing content on my own. I try to keep my content self separate from my private self, but I think I should probably just, like, let it all go. Like, who cares? And I think Ludwig said, well, I don't know exactly what he said, but Ludwig in his video said that you should be proud enough of your content to share it with friends and family. And I'm like, you know what? I should. So at some point in the near future, hopefully, I think I'm just gonna be like, hey, private Instagram, all of my closest friends and family. I make content on the internet, and here's where you can find me. The end. Although I'm sure I actually probably know for a fact that most of the people I know personally have probably seen my content and just don't talk about it, which I think I should be more open to talking about that kind of stuff with people that I'm close to, because it does mean a lot to me. Try not to share it with others, but it's not because I'm self-conscious or anything, but because I have to choose to trust that they won't go out and share who I am online. Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially when you have, like, that extra layer of, like, being anonymous online. I feel that. That being said, Ludwig said, if you can't share your content with the people that love you, then you're not proud of it. I had already shown some of my friends and family, but he was right. Yeah, for sure. Which I will say, I don't know, like, kind of looking back at it now, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna make me sound like the biggest jerk, but I feel like it wasn't until I actually found a tiny bit of, like, I'm not by any means like I'm not a Pokemon or anything, but once I started to find a little bit of success is when I finally started to feel confident in my videos, which I think is very unhealthy and I need to change that, obviously. But, you know, I feel like nowadays I am a bit more confident in my content and like the stuff I do online, just because I feel like proud of the fact that I've built up something pretty much on my own. And I think, and yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that people actually like care about what I make and stuff, like you guys. Thanks to viewers like you, thank you. Yeah, that is something I'm very appreciative for, and I think it's really crazy. I think it's crazy that people actually watch my stuff, so I think I should be more proud of what I make. Oh no! Yeah, I was like, so in case anybody doesn't know how I started making videos and all that, I started making videos when I was 9 years old. I was heavily inspired by Jackass, and like that whole era of like comedy and oh no, I didn't get first. So when I first started making videos in 2008, I would do a lot of stunts and pranks with my childhood friends and then post it onto YouTube. And so when I first started making videos, I feel like it was the most like pure, like just innocent, like pure way that I started making videos. Just because it was like I was making videos just to impress myself and my friends and my family. Like I was trying to just do like dumb things just to make people laugh, like at my school, basically. I feel like when I first started making videos and I was 9 years old, I didn't fathom, or I couldn't process the fact that people around the world could see my videos. I only just wanted like the girl that I liked at school to see my videos and think I was funny or something. Like I didn't even realize, or it didn't make sense to me that people from around the world could see my videos. Yeah. Oh wait, actually, yeah, speaking of cringy things from my past too, going back to that. Yeah, I did a lot of stupid things to try to impress girls that I liked. When I was a kid, that's what I thought would make me appealing to girls that I liked, was doing dumb things and making people laugh. Like here's an example, so cringy. One day after school, I was walking. Oh god, I actually have so many examples of this. But one that comes to mind, one time I was walking after school with this girl that I liked, and I said, "Hey, you want to watch me punch myself in the nuts as hard as I can?" And then I did it. Because I thought that she would find that impressive and that she would become my girlfriend. Another time, I was walking around high school with this girl that I liked, and I said, "Hey, you want to watch me try to jump over this, you want to watch me jump over this, like parking meter?" And then I tried to jump over and I, like, fell. And she laughed. But I think she was laughing at me. Took me a single stream to get confident, and it's that I realized after that stream that I simply didn't know how I was supposed to act. And then I realized, boy, you should just act like you do. I tend to talk to myself about anything and everything, so why not do that but record it? Yeah, that's totally like that's the best way to like do streaming, is like just pretend like you're making a YouTube video basically. Same, I kind of posted while expecting no one to find it, and people did, even though it was really bad. But 2 years later, I posted a few videos for college, and they are really, really funny, but of course no one has found them. Nice. Nice, I love that. content creation. Okay. I do want to probably segue a little bit, because, I mean, unless you guys, if you guys do want to continue chatting about content creation, just because I feel like maybe some people might not understand. Some people don't get us, guys. You know what I mean? Some people don't get us. We're a different breed. No, but actually, speaking of college and like high school and like projects and stuff, did you guys make videos for like, well, I mean, obviously you did, but yeah, did you guys or anybody in chat, did you like make videos for projects in school or anything, or like what were like your favorite school projects? Actually, yeah, I do remember. We did have a project in middle school. We had to recreate a book. We had to make a video recreating a book, like as a skit, basically. And me and my friends had a really fun time with that. And then when I got to college, I went to college for media. So obviously I was doing a lot of like video projects and stuff. So that was always a cool thing. I don't know if my college professors will see this, but there were definitely some times where I just made a YouTube video and then was like, okay, I don't have time to do this college project. I'm gonna just send in my YouTube video as my college product. And I got an A. So I was like, sweet. I got like I just did like half the work for like a YouTube video and my college project. Yeah, no, I'm not pretending to do videos. I'm just legitimately talking to myself like usual. Nice. Oh, that reminds me too. Do you guys have an inner voice in your head? And if so, is your inner voice yourself or is it someone else? I actually don't know if I have an inner voice. I feel like, yes, like similarly, I feel like I talk to myself a lot. So a lot of times my inner voice is just myself talking. Like it's my outer voice. My inner voice is my outer voice. But I think they're like, because I know some people don't have an inner voice. At all. I don't know if I actually do have one. That's such a weird thing. Like when people ask, like, even like my therapist, when my therapist asks me like what goes on in my head, I don't frickin' know. Like, I don't know. Like, do I have an inner voice? I don't know. Like, I don't know what goes on in my mind. I imagine inside of my mind is like that SpongeBob meme where it's all of the SpongeBobs running around on fire. I imagine that's what the inside of my mind is like. God, I'm crashing all over the place. In college, we needed to do videos just like naturally college-y videos, presentations like, but a few were required to be posted on YouTube for easier viewing with the class, so I just decided to include skits in it because I was bored with how it's supposed to be. Nice! Dude, that's awesome. Like taking the project and like making it your own, like making it interesting to you. That's a great way to do it. Ow! Created this character that would be in all my videos and it never debuted on my actual channel until my latest vid. Nice. The lore. You're creating your own lore for your channel. Do I have an inner voice? For sure. I am bilingual though, so the real question to me is, which language do you think in? Ooh. Interesting. I wonder what it's like to be bilingual. I feel like, yeah, being bilingual obviously is probably really tough. I know, like, I feel like there are actually quite a few places that, like, require, or like, you know, mandatorily teach being bilingual. Like, I know, like, in Canada, there's English and French. Japan, I know, does Japanese and English. Only the US were like, no, we only speak the Murica language. Only the Murica language. No, but I did take, my high school did require 2 years of a language. I took 2 years of Japanese. But it's not like, it's not like I'm fluent or anything. I only know like the basic things. Like, konbanwa, watashi no namae wa Chase desu. I just said good evening, my name is Chase. Also, I'm gonna get a sip of water real quick. Oh no, where's my water? Okay. What's funny is that the college postings is most probably what made me start making content, including the mask, which I only started using because I was required to make a video of me serving cereal without seeing and without a hand to see how people with disabilities do. Oh, interesting. This is like an interesting concept for a project. Nice, that's awesome. That's a great, like, introduction. You understood? Konbanwa, watashi no namae wa Uriburu desu. Oh, nice. At first I was like, wait, what? God, we're barely like halfway. It's already, oh god, it's already like my bedtime. What else do I know? I don't know. Terebi. Wait, how do you do it? Is it Terebi? Terebi or... Never mind, I don't know. I was trying to say, like, I like to watch TV. Terebi or is it wa? Terebi or... How do you say watch? Okay, never mind. All of my Japanese is gone. I used to be, like, actually pretty good at Japanese, or not, like, pretty good, but, like, I used to, like, you know, I used to do well in my Japanese, like, my Japanese class in high school. Oh, wait. That's a funny story. I feel like the only reason I did well in Japanese class in high school is because there was this girl who I really liked, who I sat next to, because we had the same last name. Yeah, in high school there was this girl who I really liked, and we had the same last name, so like we sat next to each other, because we were all sitting in alphabetical. And she was like, hey, you're the guy with the same last name. I was like, yeah. How'd you know? And then we became really close, and and so and she was in marching band, so a lot of times she would like miss class because she would be at whatever contests or whatever. And so every time she wasn't in class, I would Facebook message her and say, hey, here's the notes from today, and if you need it. And I remember I got very excited because she said, like, wow, you're the best seat partner ever. And I was like, wow. And then, yeah, we got really close. It was really, like, she was super nice. And then I ruined it. No. Oh yeah, I kind of did. I ruined our friendship. Because the year after... Wait, sorry, the point of that is that I became really invested in Japanese class because I wanted to be good at Japanese so that I could teach her. Like, if she had questions on the homework, I could explain the answers. Because I really liked her and I wanted to, like, talk to her and, like, you know, ask her, like, yeah, if she had questions about the homework, she would, like, ask me. That was really nice. And then the next year, the following year afterwards, oh god, I hate saying this out loud. I asked her to be my girlfriend, literally. And then I got really upset afterwards. I mean, not upset where, like, I was harassing her. Well, no. No, I got really upset and, like, I got really, like, sad. I felt like a loser and a failure. And I would send her messages like, oh god, it's so cringy. I sent her messages like, oh, like, hey, I understand if you don't want to be friends. I would love to be friends, etc, etc. Like, I'm sorry I did that. It was very cringe, etc. Well, wait, cringe wasn't really a word that people used back then, but I would be like, I'm sorry that I did that. It was, like, so weird of me, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah. It got to a point where I was very, like, victimizing myself. So, but we have reconnected since then, and I'm very happy for her that she's, like, doing well in life. And yeah, she's super nice. Yeah. For a while, I did feel like maybe she was, like... Sorry, wait, not... Oh god, I feel like I'm, like, in a therapy session. What am I talking about? No, for a while I did feel like she was, like, kind of the one that got away. Like, I felt like we always had such a good time together, but maybe that's more of just, like, a sibling type of energy. Especially because we had the same last name. But yeah, she was so nice. Like, that's, like... I will say, like, she was one of, like, the nicest people I've ever met. And, like, I really, really enjoyed her company, which did really make it hurt when, like, we kind of drifted apart. Like, I've had my fair share of girls who I had crushes on just because I thought they were pretty. But, like, there was no substance to it. This girl in Japanese class, I felt like we really vibed and we really clicked together. And so it really did kind of... It was kind of a bummer once we started drifting apart. And, but yeah, we sometimes keep in touch on Instagram, and I'm always happy to see her, like, thriving and doing well. IDKY, but classes simply don't work for me. Oh no. Yeah, for me, as long as there was a girl I liked in my classes, I would be, like, so invested in it. Oh no. I was just a simp, basically. I was a simp in school, and that's what got me through high school, was just being a simp. Being a simp for pretty girls. That's cute though, understandable stuff happens. Yeah. Ah, oh god, I almost hit the car. Sorry, that made me, like, suddenly sad. I'm gonna cry. No, that made me, like, aw. Just thinking about, you know, thinking about my times in high school and whatnot, especially with girls. But it's also funny that I can laugh at how cringy I was. I used to be pretty naive and kind of cringy. I didn't have social media. Oh god. social media until way later than everyone else. And what I knew, I just ran right into the bomb. Wasn't too much from adult-like places. I learned English and Spanish playing video games and watching TV. Wow. Dang. And who said playing video games and watching TV would be a bad influence? And then you learn a whole ass language. I love that. Nice. Nice, nice. Oh my god, social media when you're a kid. I remember like vividly, like specifically in 5th grade, everybody was making MySpaces. So, the girl that I liked, I don't know how it happened, but the girl that I liked, we started like trading post-it notes, like post-it note messages. She would leave a post-it note message in my little cubby, and then I would leave a little post-it note message in her cubby. How did that happen? That's like, man, in like 5th grade, that's like going to like 3rd base with somebody. Sorry, I can't say that without laughing. No, but like, yeah, we traded post-it notes, which is like crazy to imagine. How the heck did I get to that level? And she was like one of the popular girls. And then yeah, so everybody had MySpaces, and like I remember she gave me a post-it note with her MySpace name on it. And then we became MySpace friends. And then, yeah. The point comes to that I liked a girl and she posted a picture of her on Instagram. It was middle school, and I, being the naive, not very grown-up person I wasn't aware that sexy wasn't a word that didn't just mean you look good. Oh no! So I commented on her post, "You look sexy," and it did, and well, it didn't get awkward or I got made fun of for it at all, but it was a "oh flip you poor soul" moment. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. That's like... oh Jesus. You like earnestly try to say something nice and it's like... oh no. It's like the worst thing you could possibly say. Oh my god, that reminds me. Holy crap. God, one of the cringiest things. In high school, I had a crush on this girl, and I was texting her. I remember it so vividly. I was at the doctor's. I texted her one day, just out of the blue too, like I just came out swinging with, "Hey, do you wear makeup at all? Just wondering." And she said no, and I said, "Oh good, I don't think you need makeup." Oh god, I was one of those creeps. Oh no. God, that's the cringiest thing I think I've ever said to a girl that I liked. Jesus Christ. I was a freaking Twitch chatter to the girl that I liked. I feel like that's probably the best way to dodge a blue shell is by getting attacked by something right before it. I don't know if that's... I wonder if that's like a common knowledge strategy. Yeah. I've told this story before, but still, like, the cringiest thing... I was pretty bad up until like the 9th grade. Yeah, I feel like at a certain point there's just a switch where you're like, okay, I think I can be a little bit less cringy. Although for me, I don't know if I've outgrown it. I think I might still be in my cringy era. Where most people probably outgrow it in like 10th grade. All of a sudden I had a massive shift getting my coolest at 12th grade. Nice. Heck yeah. The cool era. No, yeah, sit like... oh god. Still to this day, probably the cringiest thing I've ever done. That same girl who was in my Japanese class, the way I asked her out as a senior in high school, by the way, I texted her one night and said, "Hey, do you have time tomorrow to fill out my my survey for my math class?" And she said, sure. I can meet you after school. And I was like, okay, thank you. And then when I meet her after school, I hand her a post-it note that says, "Will you be my girlfriend? Check mark. Yes. Check mark. No. Check mark. Are you crazy?" I hand her a post-it and a pen, and she says, "Oh, sorry," and gives it back to me. The cringiest thing I could have ever done. God. And then, I remember too, I planned it to where I wanted to do that on that specific day because I had my first ever therapy session. So I was like, okay, let me do this really cringy ass thing, and then so I can go to therapy. Oh boy. Still cringe, but a good kind of cringe. That's good. It's good. Like, honestly, I think being cringe gets a bad rap. I think it's good to be cringe. As long as you're not like creepy cringy. Like, as long as you're respectfully cringy. I think it's simply because I own my cringe to a degree that was like, okay, but he's way too confident with it. Nice. I ended up making the Glee Club the cool club in school, second coolest being varsity football. Nice. Dude, love the Glee Club. I don't think our school had a Glee Club. I mean, they did have like choir, but like not like a Glee Club, I don't think. Wait, was Glee Club like... Would Glee Club be like similar to like theater? I don't know. Or is it like different? I imagine it's probably different, but there was a theater. There was, you know, there were like theater kids at my school at least. Oh, all good, all good. I was just saying, oh, it was theater. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that's all I was asking. Nice, nice. Dude, theater kids, honestly, like, I feel like theater kids are a different breed of human. Because once you... I feel like theater, out of anything that you could do in high school, requires the most freaking confidence. You know, as a high schooler where you're like, traditionally very just like insecure and still learning about yourself and life, and then to have to go in front of an audience and act like a fool sometimes. Like, that's the most... And then like, yeah, you know, I think as you get older, you realize that, yeah, like theater kids grow up to be the most like freaking confident, like outgoing people you could ever meet in your life. So honestly, like even with varsity football, I think theater club is probably the coolest. Honestly, I can't think of a cooler. Oh wait, sorry, Automod got the message. Hold on. Automod, what are you doing? You're slacking. Okay. Like honestly, I honestly think, I feel like theater club, there's not a cooler club. Cause, listen, apologies for all the jocks out there. Oh god, this is the part where I get cancelled. No, I don't know. I feel like from what I've seen, a lot of times, the sort of, the sort of high from varsity football that a lot of the players have only last in high school. Afterwards, feel like there's not much. Like, for the most part, I feel like most of the varsity football people that I knew from high school ended up just becoming like regular old people. I remember there was a varsity football player who just I randomly ended up seeing in my college class. But yeah, I mean, like definitely, I feel like definitely in high school, in terms of like sort of popularity, that varsity football is probably up there. Especially for my high school. My high school, for whatever reason, highly valued varsity football. To the point where I feel like, I don't know if this information was public or if it was just a rumor, but to the point where my high school would invest so much goddamn money into varsity football, it was ridiculous. Which I feel like is a weird thing to do in high school. Like, to have a high school where it's like a lot of your money relies on freaking high school students running into each other violently. Seems kind of sus to me, I don't know. But yeah, the only like at least that I know of, the only varsity football player that like continued and like remained in like varsity football type of like, I guess like type of league was like this one guy from my high school, and I think he was doing college football or something. He has like a bunch of thousand followers on Instagram. I will say, sorry, I should also say, wait, I'm kind of talking negatively about football players in high school football, which might just be due to the fact that I was jealous of the popularity in high school. I was just a freaking nobody. But also, what I will say is that a lot of the high school football players that I've known, for the most part, were like pretty cool. Like they weren't like, you know, they weren't super like cocky or anything. I mean, there was one high school football player who, every time we had a test, he wanted to cheat off my paper, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah. There was also a choir club, but that was the loser club simply because people considered it the people that either take singing cringely seriously, weren't good enough singers to be in the theater, or both. Aww. Poor choir kids. Jesus. But also band kids. Band kids are really cool too, I feel like. I mean, hell, in some ways, I would even consider, at least for how it was in my school, I would sometimes even consider the marching band, kids to have it tougher than the frickin' football players. I don't know. Like, it seemed rough. Varsity football couldn't surpass theater, not only because theater was cooler, but because... Oh wait, sorry, my mouse is in the way. Oh, okay. Anyone in that club actively wanted to be in theater, really? That's wild. I feel like you wouldn't suspect the average jock, like football player, to want to be in theater. I guess like in High School Musical. I guess unless you're in High School Musical. Theater has gone down in coolness, but mainly because they just weren't confident about their cringe. That's like, that should be a saying. That should be on a shirt. Be confident of be confident of your cringe. Oh god, I ran right into the Goomba. Oh no, go 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 go. Okay. Not saying that just cause it was legitimately the problem in the last couple of years. Aw. I feel like a lot of times, well, oh god, I sound like such a boomer when I say this, but I feel like probably social media has a lot to do with like people not being able to embrace their cringe. Because I feel like now, you know how like in the past, in the old times, bullying would be like, you know, you give someone a noogie or you know, you kick someone in the shins. Nowadays, bullying is probably like, oh, I'm gonna make a hate thread about you on Reddit. Or like, oh, I'm gonna make a, oh god, I'm gonna make an AI image of you and post it on Instagram. Like, bullying now must be so freaking, like, mentally. So like, people must be so terrified of being cringe nowadays. Or at least embracing it. That would be so scary to me, to be in high school or like even especially middle school. Jesus Christ, middle school, and like having social media being so like prevalent and everything, and like the bullying on social media. I'm gonna make a deep fake of you and post it on Instagram. It's probably so scary out there. God. In terms of bullying, luckily, I don't think I was ever actually like bullied too hard. I was definitely like teased and like made fun of, which I mean, I guess is bullying, but I don't think I was bullied to the degree that like it would affect me, luckily. But let me think. Like, the worst bullying I ever got was like I got into an argument with someone about whether you should buy a Wii U or an Xbox One. Which just goes to show what kind of a kid I was. I was like, no, you should get a Wii U, and then it's like, what are you, a kid playing a Wii U? Why are you, what are you, a baby playing Wii U? Why don't you play Call of Duty on the Xbox One? You baby. That was the worst I got it. The thing is, when I did it, I would go around by myself with a massively long blonde wig, shirtless and with a thick fur coat running around the school at 7 AM, promoting the show. Meanwhile, last year, my sister's friends refused to go around in a Sebastian from Little Mermaid costume doing the same thing. I would have killed that crab costume at 7 AM. He didn't even have to go alone. He was supposed to go out with some girls running around. Aw. Aw. Yeah, I mean, listen. I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say that at least, like, you know, kids are very scared to be cringe because of what other people are gonna think of them. I mean, that's something that even something as like, for me as a grown-ass man, something that I deal with is like thinking about what other people think of what I do or say. You see, the action itself isn't lame, but the fact that they consider it lame is lame. Exactly. Exactly. It's about what the other kids are gonna say. Wait, did I get 3 stars on last? Okay, cool. I wonder if I'll get anything cool if I get these last 2 3 stars that I need. I don't think anybody really got bullied for like the classic, you know, the like, you know, frickin' like Grease movie type of like making fun of the band kids or like making fun of the theater kids. I think everybody was pretty cool about it. In my high school at least. I should go ahead and say I am an introvert. I'm just very extra and I'm confident with it. Nice. Love that. I'm an introvert, but I'm introverted about it. I'm a double introvert. It's just that I'm very introverted in social settings. It's just that when I'm on camera, for some reason, I can turn into an extrovert. Sometimes. Wait, let me take that back. When I'm on camera by myself, I can turn into an introvert. I don't know. I feel like there's something... I feel like because I'm just talking to a camera, it doesn't feel like there's other people that I'm talking to, which I think really helps. There's not a physical human body on the other side of the camera, at least. I also have like a pretty short social battery that needs to be recharged often. Like this past weekend, I went to a convention, and yeah, my friends are in a band and they performed at the convention, and like so after their performance, they had like a little like meet and greet like pictures, and like just watching them have to back to back talk to people very extroverted like you know, with a smile and laughing and everything. God, it made my social battery. I was just watching and then, God, I couldn't take it. My social battery is quite low. I think your main thing is that you consistently have to think, what do we talk about? Do they have the same interests as me? Like, yeah, for sure. Which I think, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, definitely that's something that I recognize. I'm playing freaking like 5D chess in my head as I'm talking to someone. Whereas if I'm in front of a camera, I just can I can steer my own conversations. The only thing I have to think about is if I'm gonna say something that'll get me canceled. Here you expect that if anyone comes into your stream, they most definitely share your interests. Yeah, yeah, for sure. If I'm talking to... Wait, my stream just died. Sorry. A second. Is it good now? Sorry, my stream just died for a second. Okay. For some reason, I think it's like whenever I use the internet while I'm streaming, it just doesn't know what to do. It just crashes. Which kind of sucks because I want to use the computer while I'm streaming. I should have held the red show. Yeah. For sure, like I would like to get to a place where I can just talk. But also, I don't know. I do like listening. I do like listening to people. I feel like I'm a good listener. Because I like, it's the thing where it's like, you know how like people say that like, oh, it's really like, you know, it makes other people happy when someone is passionate about what they're talking about and like they're happy talking about it, and like that's something that I like to pick up from other people. but like I have a hard time doing myself. Okay, no problem. Really love to stay more, but I should have. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Definitely can't stay longer. Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for staying and chatting. I super appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. Hope you have a good night. Thank you. Whoa. No, Waluigi has the bananas. Yikes. Anytime except right this second. Alright. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again soon. Oh man. Yeah. And then, yeah, so like, while I'm talking to someone, I'm playing 5D chess in my head just to figure out what to talk about and stuff. And like, it becomes exponentially worse when I'm talking to a girl that I like. Like, imagine how much more that probably just like wrecks my conversations, because I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure I'm like saying the right things to where like, oh, like, I don't make a fool of myself in front of the girl that I like. And then it becomes so much, it becomes so much worse. Sorry, wait. Oh god, worst streamer. I'm just trying to check my TikTok. But yeah, I did post a TikTok today. Well, yeah, I posted a TikTok talking about how I'm very, like, grateful for my friends because, yeah, I just saw my friends again this year. I just saw my friends again, and, yeah, I think, like, something that I'm, like, not afraid to admit about myself, and, like, I've sort of, I totally recognize about myself, and I think it's something that I definitely need to continue working on, is that I think I'm a very difficult person to be friends with. Like, just to, like, lay it all out there. I think it can be tough to be friends with me, for many reasons. But... Oh wait, shoot, speaking of which, I was supposed to... Oh god, wait, I gotta actually text I gotta text my friends. Yeah. I think it takes a lot to be friends with me, just because a lot of times I can be a lot to handle. And I feel like I've kind of mellowed out over the years. But, you know, it makes me very grateful for, like, the people who do stick around and who do, you know, who do put up with it. Like, that's so nice to me. And yeah, I don't know. It's very nice to have really great friendships and really great relationships with other people. And it's funny because so I feel like I have swung two completely opposite directions when it comes to like being a lot to handle. A lot for other people to handle, at least. When I was younger, I was probably on the side of I was a lot to handle because I was too just weird. I was too like weird and like energetic and like, oh, I wanted to do stupid things to make people laugh, and I always had to have attention from other people. Nowadays, I still do like attention from other people. Like I still honestly do crave attention from other people, but I feel like nowadays it's gone kind of to the opposite end where, and I think I like sort of my understanding of it is that I feel like I've done a lot of like just not great things in my past, and I want to try to make up for it, but sometimes I overcompensate where it's like I try to act not weird, so I try to be as not weird as possible to the point where it's weird. Like, yeah. So I do feel like it's probably a lot to handle. which I appreciate people for putting up with. Yeah. This is... oh god, it really is turning into a therapy session, but... and like... I feel like this is just me going over all of my flaws. But yeah, I'm very much an overthinker. Like, no doubt about it. Like, the one thing I don't overthink about is how much I'm an overthinker. That's the one thing I don't even need to think twice about, is that I'm such an overthinker to the point where it's like, I feel like it ruins some relationships for me. Which does make it to where, like, yeah, I feel very grateful for the people who do sort of accept my flaws and, like, still put up with it. That's so nice. Ah. Oh god, my back. Oh no! But yeah. I was gonna mention too, speaking of cringy ways that I've been rejected. Oh god, there are multiple stories. Let's go back to the very beginning. I never, like, god. The first cringiest, like, wild rejection I've ever gotten was for Valentine's Day, and it kind of ruined Valentine's Day for me forever. I've been traumatized. I've been traumatized by Valentine's Day ever since, but I bought this girl that I liked a necklace from like a local hobby store. It was just like a little necklace. It was probably like 20 bucks or something, but I bought it for her for Valentine's Day, and I gave it to her. And then I don't know how true it was. I don't know if the rumors were true, but the rumor on the street was that after I gave her the necklace for Valentine's Day, she flushed it down the toilet. And like, yeah. That was... I probably laughed about it at the time, but it probably really hurt me because I think I really liked this girl. Oh no. So that was a pretty, like... that was a devastating rejection. I also... God. Oh god. I'm just going through my backlog of trauma. Yeah, this girl that I liked in high school. So for whatever reason, I always had the misconception of whenever you ask out a girl, that I would have to do a big grand gesture for them. And that was obviously dumb. But yeah, so this one girl I bought, I think it was actually a pretty expensive, I resorted back to the necklace gimmick. I think it was actually a pretty expensive one too. Like I actually bought it from like a jewelry store this time. And so I asked her out one day out of nowhere when we were just at like a shopping center. And she said no. And I said, "You can keep the necklace if you want." Oh no. Dude, I am so cringe. Yeah, I was like, "You can keep the necklace if you want." And she said, "Oh, no thanks." And so I'll never forget too, I spent that entire year of high school trying to find someone to take this goddamn necklace from me. And I think at one point, I was actually texting a girl who was willing to take the necklace. They're like, okay, sure. Like, imagine someone coming up to you and say, "Hey, I bought this necklace for this girl, and she rejected me, and she didn't want the necklace. Do you want it?" Like, what the hell? But, I mean, I think the crazier thing is that someone actually was willing to take it. That's the crazier part. But no, they ended up not taking it. I still have the necklace, and it was a traumatizing year of high school. It was my freshman year of high school too, so I had a pretty bad start to my 4 years in high school. A pretty traumatizing start. Oh god, it is so cringy too. Oh my, like even more cringy. Oh god, I don't even want. Oh god, I cringe thinking about this. The cringiest part was that, like, after this girl rejected. Oh god, I'm gonna sound like the biggest, like the worst sociopath ever. But after this girl rejected me, I knew, like, I knew where, like, her and her friend would always sit before high school, or before school started. So I would walk by wherever her and her friend were sitting, and I would be playing, like, really just sad emo music on my phone. Just to show, like, hey, I'm really sad after I got rejected. And then I'll do the cringy thing of, like, posting emo sad song lyrics as my Facebook, like, on my Facebook wall. Oh god, it's so cringy. So basically, I was just a big sack of cringe in school the whole time. Dude, we have so many more freaking cups to do. Okay, there we go. Oh god. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, like cause wait, sorry, words. I even like vlogged me asking out this girl in high school, and I'll never forget when I was vlogging it, I made a big deal about it because I was like, oh, this is the 10th time that I've been rejected, so it's a big milestone. But I don't know if it was actually the 10th time. I probably counted it at the time, but let me think. There was... God, this might be a really... This might be a very specific reference, but do you guys remember from How I Met Your Mother? There's that one scene where Ted is like remembering all of the times when he got hurt. This is what it feels like going through all of my past rejections. Let me think. So there was... God, I can't remember. I have my potato memory is hitting me pretty hard. What I do remember is that I remember the first actual, like, crush I had. I was in, like, 2nd or 3rd grade. And that was the first time in my life I had, like, I remember thinking, like, oh, I have a crush on this girl. I probably didn't have, like, my first rejection until, like, 4th or 5th grade. In fact, I think the first rejection I ever had was when that girl possibly, according to the rumors, flushed the necklace down the toilet. But let me think. After that, I went to middle school and there was this girl. It's funny because I feel like pretty much I spend one school year having a crush on a girl, only for it to all go badly. But in 6th grade, I had a crush on a girl, and I didn't say anything about it for a whole year. Oh my god, actually, because I was making YouTube videos at the time, I have footage of my friends making fun of me about this crush, on camera. Basically, they wanted to, like, say that I had a crush on this girl on camera so that we could post it onto YouTube. But, yeah, and then I didn't do anything about it for the whole year. When it was, like, the last day of 6th grade, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something about this because it's been the whole year and I haven't said anything. I don't even know what I did. Did I send a text message? I might have sent a text message. Or I might have written a note. I think I wrote a note and asked one of my friends to give it to her. And then the feedback that I got was that the person said, my friend who supposedly gave it to this girl said that she said, "Ew, no, I would rather date a dog." And I don't know if that's true. And like, you know, I don't hold it against her or anything. Like, actually, like, you know, we're mutuals on Instagram, and like I enjoy keeping up with her, and like I'm happy whatever she's doing. But yeah, I don't know if that was true. It might have been my friends trying to like make fun of me. But yeah, nothing ever happened. Nothing ever came of it. Oh, except, oh my god, I think I still have, or I think this video is still on Facebook, but you know when kids were doing like, oh, like this post and I'll make a video for you. Well, I liked her post one time, and then she posted a video basically saying like, hey, remember when you liked me in 6th grade? And I was like, oh, I guess she did know. Oh god. God, 6th grade, and I was like, I feel like 6th grade was probably like the weirdest, at least physically, time of my life, just because multiple reasons. One, I had like a freaking coconut head haircut, I remember. Also, I had just started going through puberty. My voice was like the lowest one in the class. I was like, surprisingly, like imagine this, guys. You know, we all know that I'm a 5'2" short king today. Imagine that in 6th grade when I started hitting puberty early, I was actually one of the like taller kids. I was considered one of the taller kids at least. Like imagine that. And then look at me now. Imagine that and then compare it to now. So yeah, basically I was just a weirdo. And I still am. Nothing changed. But yeah, so that was 6th grade. 7th grade. 7th grade, I remember I well, I don't know if I actually like, I don't know if I like I had a crush on this girl, or like, I just liked having attention. But there was this one girl who I would often like, once again, I would just try to like make people laugh and like be weird, just because I thought, I was like, okay, that's what'll get attention from girls. And then I found out later, during the school year that apparently this girl's boyfriend didn't like me. I asked one of my friends who was also friends with this girl's boyfriend, and he was like, oh yeah, he doesn't like you. I was like, whoa. Oh, things just got really real. So that was kind of crazy. What else? Hey, Incineroar. Hello, welcome in. I'm doing quite well, thanks for asking. How about you? Literally today, my therapist said I talk like a robot. And I still feel like I am. Hey, I'm doing quite well. You're doing good, just chilling. Good to hear, good to hear. I'm just trying to play through all of the Mario Kart DLC courses. It's way more than I thought. And I'm just sitting here chatting. Usually, I treat my Mario Kart gameplay like, Subway Surfers. The Mario Kart gameplay is just kind of in the background, and I just like to chat. I just like to yap. Yap about whatever. I hope you're doing well. I'm reminiscing. Oh yeah, relatable. I've been reminiscing on every time I was Every time I was cringily rejected by girls in school. Oh, you know what was funny too? So, like, by the time I was like in 7th grade, I was like, okay, I had my fair share of rejections. I'm just gonna give up. So I remember in 8th grade, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a gap year for having crushes on girls. And so that whole year, I was like, okay, no more girls for me. And then I think I stuck to it. Cause I was just so tired. I was like, man. And then yeah. And then here I am today. Did you guys in chat ever have cringy school, like, social interactions? You never got to... oh wait, never tried to get a girlfriend, TBH. That's fair. Honestly, that's like... even if some people might look down on that, like, I feel like that's a really healthy thing to do. Because when the time comes, it'll happen, and then you can just focus on yourself. Yeah. That's one thing that I did learn at a certain point, like, I think... when was it? Like 2021 or so, there was a point where I just kind of gave up. I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna just hang out. And that was really nice, actually. It takes off a lot of pressure. I think is good. But yeah. Also, I'm guessing by your name, is your, I don't know, just a wild guess. Is your main in Smash Brothers happen to be, if I were to take a wild guess, is it Incineroar? I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Pokemon. I'm like the one person on the planet who... Oh, you don't even play Smash. Oh, so it's a Pokemon reference, right? I'm like the one person on the planet who doesn't like Pokemon, I feel like. But... I will say, Incineroar is a pretty good character in Smash. I do like playing as Incineroar. I remember when I was younger, I used to play tag a lot, and one day at school I was running from the tagger, and I ran past a pole or something, but something just came down and I got kicked in the face. What? Oh god. Oh no. Dude. Not the physical harm while playing tag. Oh man. Kinda just laughed about it. Nice. I mean, what can you do? Oh god. Yeah, like elementary school. I feel like elementary school is a lot more physical than any other type of school. My face was embarrassing. Who cares? Oh my god, yeah, something embarrassing that I did in elementary school too. I tried to do the thing where, you know, on the basketball court, like with the basketball hoop, and you throw the basketball through the hoop from underneath. I tried to do that, and then I like missed, and it just hit the rim of the basketball hoop and just came back down and hit me in the face. I was like so embarrassed, and I remember one of the teachers saw me and was like, wait, are you okay? I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah. Even though the basketball just like smashed my face in. Oh no, it happened to you too? Oh no. Oh god. Oh, sorry. Oh god. Hello. Yeah, it's Darren. Welcome in. How's it going? We're chatting about embarrassing high school or embarrassing school memories in general. Did you ever try to throw the basketball through the hoop from underneath and then it came back down and hit you in the face? Or just throw the basketball as high as possible upwards? Oh god. Yeah, that was really embarrassing. I also had this really embarrassing incident in elementary school, and trigger warning if you guys don't like throwing up, like vomit talk. One day in elementary school, I was sick. I was really sick. And then I had to get sent to the health office, the nurse. And so I was sitting there like in the nurse's office, like feeling really sick. And then like the nurse had her purse on the ground right next to me. And then I had to puke. And I puked right in her purse. And then I don't know, I think I was so sick where it's like I didn't even realize it. Cause I vaguely remember this happening, but I still kind of remember it. I don't even know if like I really like had enough, if I was like sick enough to not feel bad about it. But like, yeah, that was really embarrassing. That must have been so terrible. Like especially now being an adult and understanding that, like imagining the nurse has to go home and like clean out her purse or probably even just get a new one. Like that sucks. All because of this stupid kid, aka me. You had no idea how to dribble a basketball. Hey, it's hard. Physical activity is hard, honestly. Especially since now I'm so old and my bones are so brittle. Y'all have nurse's office? My parents would also need... oh wait, your parents would also need to be called. Oh yeah, they would do that. Like, yeah, if you go to the nurse... Well, like sometimes. There were some times... Wait, actually, there was one time where I went to the nurse's office because I was feeling lightheaded, and then after a while, she was just like, okay, you're good to go. I was like, wait, what? But, yeah, if you were like sick, they would call your parents at least. You've never seen a nurse's office? Yeah, my elementary school had one. I remember, where was it? I think it was like, it was like within the building of the principal's office, like the general office area. And there was a nurse's office. Yeah. Did you guys like... Oh, you're not American, so I don't know. Ah, gotcha. Did you guys ever get like sick during school? Or like, did you enjoy going to school? I feel like nobody probably, like, who enjoys going to school? I don't know. So I have a funny story about how I went to school, because basically all throughout like 2nd and 3rd grade, I didn't want to go to school. And I would throw really bad tantrums in the morning because I didn't want to go to school. Like every time I threw a tantrum, and then the principal would have to come to my mom's car and get me. But then, yeah, after like, by the time I got to like 4th grade, something clicked to where I was like, okay, I have to go to school every day. And then I became obsessed about like having perfect attendance in school, to the point where it was actually bad. I wanted perfect attendance so bad to the point where I had, do you guys remember when swine flu was going around? I had swine flu, or H1N1, and I still went to school. Well, and that was kind of a tough, that was a tough, oh no, I went the wrong way. That was a tough case because it was also the last day of elementary school. Like it was the last day of 5th grade, and then everybody would go to middle school. So, and then I had swine flu, and I was like, oh, I don't want to miss the last day of school. And like my elementary school, it was so cute. My elementary school, on the last day of 5th grade before you left for middle school, they would have like a big like school assembly where like, yeah, it would just be like the 5th graders, and like everyone would give them leis and stuff. And like the 5th graders would have to perform a song. I remember. Enjoyed going to school, but I was sick a lot. I always liked the grand pacer test. Oh my god, the freaking pacer test. Jesus Christ. Yeah. But yeah, like, yeah, I eventually got so obsessed with like perfect attendance that I would just go to school even if I was like sick, which I feel like is not a good thing to do. But yeah, the pacer test, oh my god. I hated that. Hated that. It's so stressful. Like, I can't, like, I think about like, it reminds me of like video games, like, like something like Guitar Hero, where you have to get like 100% on a song. It's so stressful. Or like anything timed in video games, I can't. And in case you guys don't know what the pacer test is, I don't know the exact, it starts out with like, it's like a meme by now. Like everybody knows what the pacer test starts with. It's like, the pacer test is, whatever. But yeah, basically, what the pacer test was like, the PE teachers would play this CD or whatever, and it would beep, and then you would have to run to the other side of the basketball court. Then it would beep again, and you'd have to run to the other side. And then every time, the intervals that the beeps would happen would get faster and faster. So it would start out really slow, and you just go to the other side, and then it would start getting faster, and you would have to like go really quick. And then, yeah, it was so stressful. Especially because in my PE class, they graded you on how far you got on the pacer test. So like, I would be like thinking in my head like, okay, what's the minimum number I have to get to that I can get an A? And so it's like so stressful. You reach 20 kilometers an hour, don't ask how, Jesus. Oh god. Yeah. So like, in my school, so I don't know if this is like everywhere, but like, so the way the schooling works here where I live, it's like elementary school, which is grades 1 through 5, and then you go to middle school, which is grades 6 through 8, and then high school is grades 9 through 10. Or 9 through 12, I mean, sorry. So in middle school, they had a thing where you could take high school PE in middle school so that you wouldn't have to take it during the summer. So like what that meant was, so like every day after middle school for like 3 months or something, they would have this very like intense PE class after school. Because it was like, it was supposed to be like shortened down. It was only 3 months instead of like a whole year. So they made the PE class really intense. To the point where like parents actually complained. Yeah. And I remember once, I sprained my ankle. And then, so while everyone was doing like whatever PE things, then I had to do like arms. I had to do arm workouts, and that was rough. You outlasted the pacer test several times, Jesus. Oh my god, that also brings me to one of my most cringy stories ever. So like we were doing this thing in PE. Oh god. Where it was like a 2-person like activity where like, so one person is on the ground doing sit-ups and then the other person is like spotting them, and then every time they come up from the sit-up, you would toss a 5-pound medicine ball and they would catch it and then go down and then toss it back up to the person spotting. And so we would do like 25 reps of this or whatever. And then at a certain point, I remember I was like looking at the sky. I was like staring at the clouds. I was like, wow, cool clouds. And I lost track of the numbers. And then so the girl that I was spotting, she was like doing her sit-ups and then she finished. And then I didn't realize that she finished. So once she finished, I threw the 5-pound medicine ball right at her face. And like, and it was like it was a girl that I thought was a girl that I had a crush on. And then I just throw a medicine ball at her face. It was so cringy. And like the teacher was like watching me do this and was like, what's your problem? Oh god. I felt so bad. I still feel bad. In fact, like a few years ago, I actually like messaged this girl on Instagram. I was like, hey, do you remember when I threw a medicine ball at your face? And luckily she didn't remember. Maybe it was the fact that I threw a medicine ball at her face that she forgot. Also, Incineroar, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Super duper appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I totally messed up. So embarrassing. I felt so bad. Like, yeah, the worst thing I could have done. But yeah, luckily my high school only required 1 year of PE, which meant that you could like take it during the summer. So once I did PE, I never had to do PE again, thank God. But yeah, since that high school PE program was like so intense and so rigorous for 3 months, I actually became like quite like in shape. For a while, I was like a physical boy. I was like all into physical activity. I would regularly run a mile. I think my mile, by the time I finished PE, like my mile was like 8 minutes or something, which I feel like isn't like even like an impressive mile, but at least for my standards it was. Like if I were to try to run a mile today, I don't know if I would be able to even finish it. But yeah, there was a point where I became super obsessed with like my body and keeping up with physical activity and whatnot. You have to go now? Alright, thanks for hanging out and chatting. Super duper appreciate it. And thank you for the follow too. But yeah. I became so upset. Oh god, this is a cringe, or I don't even know if it's cringy to look back on now. It's kind of crazy just to imagine me doing this. Because now I just care so little about my physical appearance. But yeah, when I was like when I got like actually pretty in shape through PE, and then I would actually sit outside and sunbathe. Like, I can't imagine me doing that today, like with my shirt off and everything. There's no way I would do that today. But yeah, I would do the classic, like pull out a beach chair and just sit there with my shirt off. Yeah, and I was like tan and like in shape. Yeah. But then it got it did get kind of sad. It got kind of monka. Just because once I got to high school, I got so obsessed with my like weight and physical appearance that I would skip lunch. I would skip breakfast and lunch. Which I mean, not that I would skip lunch only because I wanted to be skinny, but it was also the thing where our high school, the cafeteria line would be like out the goddamn cafeteria. I wouldn't want to wait in the line, so god dang it, I just gave the... I can't get first place, no! Dang it. Yeah, I didn't want to wait in the high school cafeteria line, so I would just skip lunch. I was like, eh. So like, whenever, like at the beginning of the school year, my mom would put like however much money into my lunch account, and then by the end of the school year, it would just be the same amount. I feel like it should have been, it should have, since I didn't touch my money in my school lunch account, I feel like it should have gained interest. Like, come on. But yeah, and then it got really bad to the point where I was in high school and my weight was in the double digits. Like, it was really bad. But now I'm fat. Oh god, oh god, oh god, dang it. Yeah. What else stories do I have from school? I will say, all throughout school, basically, I never ever knew what the principal's office looked like. In elementary school, I would say it was probably like, at least in terms of like performance in school, or not performance in school, but like at least in terms of like how I acted in school. Elementary was probably my worst, to where like I had been in the principal's office a few times. Middle school, I didn't even know what the principal's office looked like. The only time I ever went into the principal's office in middle school was because one of my friends was accused of stealing someone else's book, and I had to be a witness. I felt like I was in like criminal psychology, because I had to be a witness to a crime. Someone's book got stolen. And then in high school, I never ever went to the principal's office at all. I didn't even know what it looked like in there. The only time I went into the high school office was because I wanted to talk to my counselor, because I realized that I probably needed therapy. It was really sad because, yeah, I realized that I probably needed therapy. I didn't know who to talk to, so I talked to the school counselor. And I don't know what else happened after that. Yeah, we love therapy. Actually, you know what was kind of sad? I'm not gonna lie, this kind of hurt me. My school counselor, well, like, yeah, she came to see me at my high school graduation. She followed me on Instagram, and then a while ago she unfollowed me on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of hurt. What the? But you know, whatever. I don't know, what do you guys think of school teachers interacting with students on social media? Need therapy, haven't gone since the first session. Yeah, I highly recommend. Although I feel like there can sometimes be a weird stigma about it. It's like nobody should feel negatively for doing that. Oh, you didn't like... Ah, interesting. That's a really tough one, yeah. Like, sometimes it takes a few tries to get one that like actually understands you. It's tough. Yeah. Oh god. But Yoshi. Yeah, so my 7th grade teacher had a Facebook account and would add the students on there. I think nowadays, like looking back at it, it's very Monka. It's a very like Monka thing to do. But back then I feel like probably it was just a very innocent thing. It was very funny though, because like yeah, back in like when I was making videos in like 7th grade or whatever, I would do stunts and pranks where I would hit myself in the groin. And my 7th grade teacher messaged me on Facebook saying, nice videos, but you're gonna need your nuts later in life. And that's a funny thing to think back on now. You know, a teacher like messaging a little friggin', I don't know, how old would I have been? Like 10 or 11 years old. Like, hey, stop hitting your nuts. And then oh my god, you know, it's kind of cringy, but like also so funny to think about. My friends never let me hear the end of this. They always have to bring this up to me. One day, my friends were over at my house, and they were like, they were snooping through my internet browser history. And like one night I was like curious what my middle school teachers were up to. So like I was on Facebook and like I looked up my middle school teacher on Facebook. And then right after I Googled, what did I Google? I Googled like how to get a girl to like you. And so my friends never let me hear the end of it, that I looked up my middle school teacher on Facebook and then right afterwards wrote, how to get a girl to like you. And they always have to make fun of me for that. But I think it obviously wasn't anything. It wasn't even a teacher that I really like. I mean, she was a super nice teacher. It's not a teacher that I thought was pretty by any means. But oh, that's so mean. Sorry if my middle school teachers are watching this. But no, I think it just goes to show how like all over the place my brain is. I can be like thinking about one thing, like thinking about looking up, like finding my middle school teacher on Facebook, and then immediately being like, how do I get a girl to like me? Oh no! Oh. But yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. What else things have happened? Oh no! Damn it. Yeah, so yeah, funny story about therapists. The day that I decided, or the day that I was going, the day that I went to my first therapy appointment was the same day that I decided to ask out a girl. And my thought process was, okay, I'm gonna ask out the girl, and then I'm gonna talk about it in my first therapy session. So it all just came together. Yeah. But do you guys remember like being in school and like having like school dances and whatnot? I'll never forget, like, the big school dance of like 5th grade in elementary school was, it was like a banquet. And it was always the thing where it's like all the 5th graders would always make a big deal of like, oh, who are you gonna ask to the banquet, this and that. And then when it comes time to the banquet, the teachers are all like, oh, no, you guys are gonna be sitting with your same, like, all the boys are gonna sit with the boys and all the girls are gonna sit with the girls. Like, what are you guys talking about? You ain't bringing no one to a banquet. And then, yeah. Oh wait, actually, high school proms and whatnot, I didn't go to any of the high school proms or like activities just because I didn't want to. And also I thought it was embarrassing if I were to go by myself. So like I didn't go to like a freshman, I forget what they called it. It wasn't a prom, it was like a freshman banquet, I think. Oh, we have to watch, okay. There was like the freshman banquet. No, there was the sophomore banquet. I went to the sophomore banquet because they were looking for people to perform at said sophomore banquet, and then I performed, which was very fun. That was my first time performing on a stage, I think. Also, we're on the last cup, one more cup, and then I can go to bed. And then what else? Oh yeah, so I went to my sophomore banquet, and then because I wanted to perform, I went to junior prom because I also wanted to perform. And then when it came time for my senior prom, they were holding auditions for the senior prom like performances. And apparently there was like a thing during the morning bulletin about like, hey, if you want to audition for the senior prom, then make sure you sign up here and then show up to this place and then to do the audition. I didn't hear the first part about signing up for anything, so what I heard was like, oh, go to this building to audition for the senior prom. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I show up to the room, and I'm greeted by the biggest bee with an itch teacher that I've ever seen in my life. Like, this teacher was so rude to me, saying that, why didn't you sign up for auditions, even though there was literally no one else there. Literally no one else, there was no line or anything, like nobody was there, and she was throwing a little fit about why I didn't sign up why I didn't sign up on the form for the audition, even though no one was there. And then, yeah, she just throughout the whole time was just such a bee with an itch to me. And like, so one of my biggest regrets in high school, all throughout high school, is that I wish when that teacher was so disrespectful to me, I wish I walked out of the room. Like, that's one of my biggest regrets in high school. I feel like I shouldn't have taken that. But then, yeah, so I was just like so just mad about that I didn't go to my senior prom. I paid for it. It was like $100 or something. I didn't go because I was just like, screw that teacher. It was so annoying. So I basically just didn't go to my senior prom out of spite. Oh no! I got red shelled. And I'm small. But yeah, what I will say, the times when I did go to, I went to my sophomore banquet and junior prom, I felt like at my sophomore banquet, there wasn't really that much of an emphasis on like, that you have to have a date for sophomore banquet. Maybe there was, I don't know. But I can say definitely like 1000% at my junior prom, I felt like the biggest loser of my life. I went in the bathroom just so that I could get away because I felt like such a freaking loser. Everybody, they did the thing where it's like, okay, now we're gonna play a slow song. And then I'm standing there like, what do I do? And so I had to go in the bathroom and just hide in the bathroom for the longest time because I was like, I don't know what to do. I actually don't remember like how I got home. I don't remember like what the procedure for that was. I don't know if like the parents showed up or something. But yeah, by the time, like the only reason I was at my junior prom was because I wanted to perform on stage because I love attention. And then, yeah, after that I just wanted to go home. Yeah. I didn't have a date for my junior prom or anything. Yeah. I don't remember, like, you know how like asking people to prom has become such a big, like, I don't know if it still is, but definitely there was a point in time where it's like it was such a like a freaking, it was such a meme to like do a big thing for junior prom or to ask people to prom or whatever. I don't remember if anybody at my school did. I think I vaguely remember there were some like people made like signs and whatever, and like I think at one point somebody had a big sign that they were holding on the second floor of a building and there was the girl on the first floor of the building. You know. But God. It reminds me of like those videos where people make like grand gestures to ask someone to marry them and then they say no. That must be like the worst thing ever. And that's what that reminds me of. I don't think I could ever do that. I think this course is kind of cute. It's somewhat forgettable, but I think it's cute, especially this version of it. But God, I feel like I've shared all of my stories of my entire life. What else? I don't know. Let me check my notes. Stuff to talk about on stream. Oh God, wait. What did I write down? I wrote down... Oh, I was watching this TikTok. About like, it was this teacher and she was talking about the icebreakers that she does on the first day of school. And so like her thing was like, she only wants to do icebreakers where it's like you actually learn about the students, because you can do like all of the whatever classic traditional icebreakers, but it doesn't really get to show what the students are like. So like when she's planning her icebreakers, she talks about how like she wants to find out like which students are really talkative and which ones are more reserved. Alright, her icebreaker was that she did a tier list on the different chips or cereal or something. And so yeah, I think that's that's a very interesting thing that you don't think about as a kid, and even like today, like as someone who isn't a teacher, obviously, it's really interesting to think. It's really interesting to think about, like, you know, the teacher's duty of trying to figure out all of the different sort of all of the different like types of people that they have in their class. And like, especially because, you know, with teachers, you stick with the students throughout the entire school year. you really start to learn about like all of your kids' personalities. Actually, that reminds me. So like in my elementary school, you would have the same 4th and 5th grade teacher. So like basically you're stuck with the same teacher for 2 years. And so like by the first year, like my teacher already knows all of the different types of people in the class, like all the different personalities. And like there was one guy in my class who I'm still like friends with today, or like at least we're mutuals on Instagram, and like we were good friends in like middle school. And he was such a like he was such a troublemaker to the point where my teacher had to put his desk right in front of her desk. Like he was the only one with a stray desk right in front of my teacher's desk. That's so funny. I forgot about that. And like, yeah, we somehow managed to end up becoming friends. And so like he would be like sitting right by my teacher's desk, and then he would be like making funny faces at me or whatever, and I would be laughing, and then my teacher would have to walk up to me and be like, "Oh, don't look at him." And I was like a teacher's pet, so my teacher really liked me, so like yeah. That was really funny. I forgot about that. I even think she put his desk to where it's facing away from everybody. Oh my god. True, teachers are like second parents. True. I would like, yeah, it's very true, just because my teacher was so supportive of me. Like my 4th and 5th grade teacher, I think, was I really lucked out in that she was like super awesome. She even like came to my high school graduation, which was really nice. Oh my god, it was so cringy though. Something really cringe though about my 4th and 5th grade teacher. My elementary school had a my elementary school had like an elementary school reunion when I was about to graduate from high school. So basically all of the seniors from high school would go back to the elementary school and see all of their old teachers. And around that time I was getting really into like performing music live. So like, I think it must have been like the week before that, I was performing an acoustic set at like a little local like town event. And my teacher was like, "Hey, I heard that you perform music." And she's like, "Can you sing a song for us?" And I was like, oh. Oh no. And so I remember I sung "Someone Like You" by Adele. And I didn't have a guitar or anything, so I had to do it just by myself, and it was very cringe. But yeah, she was so nice. I really hope she's doing well today. Yeah, she was awesome. That was probably still, let me think. Yeah, my 4th and 5th grade teacher, probably my favorite teacher like of all time still to this day. But I've had some cool like high school teachers and college professors. For some reason, middle school, I had like in middle school, I just had back-to-back really just not great teachers. I don't know why. Well, I don't know. My best guess is like, I imagine being a middle school teacher is really hard, just because middle schoolers are like probably the worst version of kids. So I can see how that would be very, like, that would make you very jaded. Being a middle school teacher. Oh yeah, high school. I think high school I had some pretty cool teachers. In fact, I'm actually Facebook friends with some of my high school teachers. One of which was a teacher who I did not expect to try to send me a friend request on Facebook. I was always late to his class. He always had to like scold me about it because it was in the morning. I'm not a morning person. So I was surprised when he sent me a friend request on Facebook because I didn't think he liked me. Yay, we finished every DLC course in Mario Kart. Let's go. Poggies.